Next up is Atir, Sveska, Sharpe. And I'll probably miss the.
So before I start, I'd like to say I'm a naturopath, and I've been handing out a COVID and variant solutions paper that is, it includes natural, but also pharmaceuticals. It also includes resources like the Zelenko protocol that he was talking about. My mission is just to share information with people that can help them. I think that we're in a information war where people think that everyone's chosen a side and dug in their heels and everyone else is wrong. I think it's really unfortunate. There's lives hanging in the balance of that. So I know as a nation, we're heavily influenced by pharmaceutical companies. In fact, we're one of only 2 nations in the whole world that allow pharmaceutical commercials. I think we've reached a point where we must realize that these corporations do not have humanity's best interests in mind. And also realize that pharmaceuticals come from the natural world. But organic things cannot be patented, and therefore there is no money to be made. So either a synthesized or modified version is created or isolated as a compound to be used. An example of this would be if you were to take valerian root to make Valium. Nature has given us many hundreds of antivirals, all with anecdotal evidence surviving thousands of years, and many with scientific proof. Take, for instance, licorice root. It is a known antiviral that has thousands of studies verifying its benefits. You can read those studies on ScienceDirect.com, and even some that show that it works far better than remdesivir to treat COVID, which, to be honest, isn't that difficult. If I had more time, I would make record a long list of antivirals from plants. Speaking of remdesivir, which is the COVID protocol that the CDC and NIH demand hospitals use, that has an average cost of $3,100 per treatment and is owned by Gilead Pharmaceuticals, that funds the CDC and NIH, which seems like a major conflict of interest. Yes?
He was telling you 1 minute. He was telling you 1 minute, Romana.
Those same agencies are well aware that in the past studies, remdesivir had a 54% mortality rate. That is cited from the New England Journal of Medicine. I'm going to repeat that, a 54% mortality rate. It causes organ failure, specifically kidney failure. The kidneys process fluids in the body, and once they start failing, the fluid starts filling the lungs. For the final death blow, patients are put on a ventilator, which increases mortality by another 20 to 70%. Patients are rarely dying from COVID, but are drowning in their own fluids per CDC protocol. This is at least premeditated murder, but it seems more like mass genocide. On ScienceDirect.com, where clinical studies are posted, there are over 13,000 studies showing the efficacy of ivermectin. Many of those studies are done on COVID. Ivermectin was originally a bacteria found in a soil sample and synthesized. It has received acclaim and awards, including the Nobel Prize in 2015, due to its wide range of use and safety for all mammals. In fact, Pfizer is creating its own drug for COVID that mimics ivermectin. It's in phase 1 trials as I speak. Refugees are receiving ivermectin, much to the dismay of the rest of us that go through many obstacles just to obtain it. Hydroxychloroquine, which comes from the bark of a cinchona tree, is also a proven prophylaxis and treatment for COVID, but again, we are not allowed by the gatekeepers to have that. Hospitals are the new concentration camps where our loved ones will have no say in their own treatment and will likely never walk out. But those guilty will spout the same phrases we heard from Germany during the Nuremberg trials. I was just following orders. These are crimes against humanity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony and being here today.